How do we usually start these things? Hey, Will.
Yeah, it's usually something like, "Hi, Will," and I'm like, "Hey,
Hey, Will.
hi."
So, E3 is upon us, and we have gotten through all of the press conferences. As we speak, Nintendo is showing off Zelda, and we'll probably see more from them. I think they also showed a little Pokemon Sun and Moon today.
They did.
So Nintendo hasn't quite wrapped up, but the other big press conferences have already finished. We're starting a new series that I'd like to do regularly. I know we say that about everything we start, but this time I think we should try and stick with it because it's easy. And as of right now, we're calling it the Sif and Gon Sideshow because when Will and I play games together, it's called Sif and Gon. That is our dynamic duo name, the ambiguously gay duo of Sif and Gon. So it's Sif and Gon Sideshow, episode 256 for the 256th episode, which we're recording Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You get our full thoughts on E3. But just for now, Will and I are going to chat some knee-jerk reactions to the press conferences, starting with Electronic Arts, which I felt for a while was the best press conference, surprisingly. And I think a lot of that
Really,
had to do with the lack of sports.
that's true.
They showed a little bit of Madden and FIFA, but we saw nothing hockey, nothing basketball, and even the Madden stuff was light.
Yeah,
I know they spent a little bit of time on the FIFA stuff because of the whole Alex Hunter story mode, um, which take it or leave it. Who knows? I know the NBA one didn't work out so well. But to me, that was the most surprising part of EA was the lack of sports. Will?
for me, my biggest surprise is not that much Mass Effect still.
Yeah.
That video just did not do it for me. Where they
Really?
showed the Asari just it was almost like last year where they just showed off the teaser, except this time they showed off like a few more assets and called it good.
Um, I was okay with it because I'm so excited for that game that I think I said in our group chat that they could have showed a leaf and I would have been excited. You know, that would have been enough to get me
Yeah,
excited. Uh, we saw a little bit. There was more, a little bit
it
more
was like
going on.
it was like a 4 3-minute video. I don't remember, but it still wasn't that long, and 95% of it was just the developers talking again. Like this game's coming out next year. We still have seen
Well,
almost nothing.
we hope.
Yeah, well, yeah, that doesn't make me hopeful now.
Well, we did see they did confirm the backstory, which I don't think was ever confirmed before. It was only rumored, or maybe they did
I think
that.
it leaked supposedly,
Yeah,
maybe.
that's what I'm saying. They actually confirmed it in the press conference. You are the alien headed to the Andromeda Galaxy to save humanity, find a new home for humanity. But that was about it we got in terms of backstory.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm excited for it. I don't care what anybody says. I don't know.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I'm really excited for it too. I was just disappointed that we really still didn't get much.
Well, they also said there would be more freedom than they've ever given in a game before. So that leaves me hopeful, even though one of the reasons I like Mass Effect so much was that it was more of a guided story and not your open world RPG, not your Skyrims and your,
Yeah.
Witchers and all that stuff. Uh, so we'll see about that. What are you most excited for?
Probably Battlefield 1. Watching that gameplay that we got, like they showed off a trailer and then right after the EA press conference ended, they show off some gameplay and boy does it look good. I
Yeah.
literally cannot wait to play Battlefield 1.
I maybe I should save this for the full show. Uh, but I'm after seeing some of the content, I'm not as excited. I still think it looks good and it looks like Battlefield, which is fine, but I kind of wanted it to feel a little bit more not like Battlefield, more World War One-y.
I don't know, it's pretty World War 1.
I mean, the weapons are World War One, the settings World War One, the vehicles are World War One, but the way it plays doesn't feel very World War One to me. Not saying I wanted like trench warfare in like we discussed, sitting in a trench for 15 minutes till you get your perfect shot. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think it'll be fine, and I'm still gonna play it. But it took away a little bit of the magic in seeing the gameplay. Although that blimp coming down was awesome.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard for them to try and 100% mimic World War One, like how it should play, because it would be kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with the game, how the gameplay is, and I like Battlefield a lot. So I'm into how, if it still plays like Battlefield, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's EA. Then we moved on into Bethesda. I was really disappointed by Bethesda overall. The Quake stuff, didn't do anything for me. Most surprising thing to me, the Prey reboot. I don't
Uh,
know.
yeah,
And even that was kind of rumored. The Prey 2 we heard was coming, and we got a more or less reboot, described as a psychological first-person shooter. So, and it looked it. Most. What did I just give most surprising?
yes.
What about you, Will? What were you most surprised by?
Man, I don't know. I'm maybe the Prey reboot. Maybe that they didn't outwardly announce Wolfenstein
Mm-hmm.
too. Uh, I don't know. There wasn't really anything that I was like, wow, like last time where I thought they had the best conference last year.
Oh yeah, well they had Fallout last year, so it's really hard to top that.
That's true.
And I think they just put together a good show, a good quality of show, which we'll get to with Sony,
Hmm.
because showmanship is a big part of this. And I think Bethesda nailed it last year, Sony nailed it this year. But yeah, I don't know, not much for me out of Bethesda. Dishonored 2, another thing that was kind of surprising to me was I didn't think it looked that good. That's just me. I know a lot of people seem to be really impressed with it and think it looks awesome, but I thought the teaser got me excited, but the gameplay watching, I don't know, the animations and stuff, it just didn't do it for me. It didn't look like it would feel good to play.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know.
Uh, because I'm probably the biggest Dishonored fan on the podcast. I did enjoy playing the first one. Uh, I am looking forward to playing this. I don't know. I'm not like super excited to play it now after seeing a little bit more. I guess it looks all right. It looks like more Dishonored, basically.
Yeah, which maybe isn't a bad thing.
No, it's love. People love that game. So
Absolutely. Most exciting thing for me, though, thing I'm most looking forward to is the Skyrim remaster, which is kind of sad because it's a remaster of a game I've played way too many hours of. But coming to current gen and PC in the form of a special edition, which is graphical overhaul. Also included with that is mods on consoles.
um, if you own all the DLC, you get the special edition for free.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yep, I went and bought the Hearthfire thing immediately after I heard
Oh, really?
that.
Was that the only one you didn't have?
Yeah, it was like $2, and I was like, I can do that.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, even
And
you
I,
can get the Legendary Edition nowadays, which has everything on sale for like $5, $10. No, I
yeah,
think it's even cheaper.
yeah, no, you're right, because the Hearthfire was still like $2, and the game now is just like 15.
Yeah, can't beat that. What are you most excited for out of Bethesda?
Honestly, probably the Skyrim remaster. I know Eric and I are probably gonna get it for PS4.
Yeah,
That would be pretty awesome. Uh, Other than that, yeah, probably the Skyrim remaster. I don't know. I wasn't blown away by Bethesda. I didn't think their conference was bad, but I just wasn't blown away like last year. So
no, you mean the Fallout Shelter updates aren't going to do it for you?
no, if Fallout Shelter is like free on PC, I'll give it a whirl. But
You know what? The Quake Champions thing is probably the biggest surprise because we did know a little bit about Prey. I don't think anybody really anticipated Quake this
Quake?
soon. And it does seem like it's a hero shooter. They really emphasize the legacy of Quake, which is fast, unlocked frame rate, just, bangity bangity bang gameplay. So,
see, I never played Quake or had a history with it, so it did nothing for me. So.
yeah, that's same with me. I didn't have that attachment, no nostalgia for Quake, so
Same.
not much for me. Microsoft. I was most surprised by the way they presented the Scorpio stuff.
Hmm.
I thought it was really, really well done. I think it's good on them to announce it.
Yeah.
And I like how they opened with the Slim and then separated the Scorpio at the end. And I know like people are like, well, why would they announce that? It's just going to shoot themselves in the foot because nobody's going to buy the Slim. But to me, it's like, well, everybody knew they're coming out with a Scorpio.
Yeah.
So, you might as well announce it so you at least don't look skeezy.
Yep.
But I like how they said, I think it was Phil Spencer that was talking about it. I
Mhm.
can't remember. Said it's beyond generations. It's bigger than generations. It's the next iteration of what console gaming is. And it is shipping at the end of next year. They said 6 teraflops of power. That means nothing to me because I don't know anything about,
What
yeah,
what a
the
teraflop is.
technical aspects of it. But everything's compatible. So they say on stage. Who knows if that's actually the case? But software, all your peripherals and stuff is all compatible with that next
Yeah,
iteration of the Xbox.
yeah. Like I don't have a problem with these new consoles as long as it's not separating the player base like horribly.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's fine. Like, so if people want to upgrade, then that's fine. Like, if I don't feel the need to, that's and I shouldn't be like punished for it. And it seems like that they're not gonna do that, so that's fine with me.
I did hear afterwards that they didn't rule out the possibility of Scorpio exclusives. So to me, it does kind of sound like the Apple iPhone model of, yeah, this device, all the old software will work on this new device, but new software can be made that will only work on this newer device. And sometimes, I know with Apple, a lot of times it's 2 generations behind or
Mhm.
back. It's not necessarily just the new one. That's pretty rare for apps to be just the brand new one.
Yeah,
And a lot of that comes down to install base. Like who you can get the most money from is not necessarily the newest one. It's the past, 2
yeah,
or whatever iterations. So,
yeah. If the install base is small for the Scorpio, then people aren't gonna develop anything for it
right.
really, like specifically.
There's no reason to, which
So
works in everybody's favor.
yeah.
What about you, Will? Most excited or biggest surprise?
Surprise. I don't know. I would say they kind of had a lot, Microsoft, that I saw. It was my second favorite conference. And a lot of the stuff that they showed off, I was like, oh, this is pretty awesome. So, like, to me, a lot of the games that they announced, like Halo Wars 2, which I've been playing a lot of, and I like how they said, oh, you can go play the beta right now. Um, that apparently leaked before. I didn't really know that. So, because I tried to avoid leaks because it pretty much could have ruined every press conference for me.
Yeah, a lot of the best stuff we already knew a little bit about ahead of time. So,
Yeah. So I guess like just all the games they had, like Halo Wars, like they showed off Recore, they showed off We Happy Few, Forza Horizon 3. So pretty much just like the massive games that they had.
yeah, that I mean they did have quite a few. I am most coming out of this. I'm probably most excited for We Happy Few.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, and the new Play Dead game that was in Microsoft, right?
Yep.
Inside, which comes out the end of this month on consoles and the beginning of July for PC. This is the game that was developed by the company that made Limbo, one of my favorite games. Um, So, oh, that's another one. You get Limbo free on Xbox One if you pre-order. Or no, it's just free. It's just free.
I think it is free. Yeah.
Yeah. So get that on Xbox One if you don't own it already. It's a good get. Most excited for you
For
out of
me,
Microsoft?
it's either like Halo Wars 2 or We Happy Few. Like We Happy Few kind of blew me away from what I saw. It looked so cool.
Yeah, creepy.
Yeah, it was very creepy. I knew nothing. Like I knew like the little bit of the story of the game, but like seeing it executed, I was like, this game's gonna be awesome.
Right. So the way the setup for the game is that I think you described it better than any of us. Go ahead.
So I went on to online to read about it. Basically, what happened was it set place in like after World War II, where like Germany kind of won the war and took over England. And there was a thing that they described as the horrible thing. And they don't specify what it is. I'm assuming maybe later in the game you find out, but it chases the Germans away. So what the government does is gives people a drug called joy to make him so they forget about what happened. So
Mm.
they're just like really happy and kind of like the creepy happy
Yeah.
that you just like this is really
Like
off-putting.
in BioShock Infinite.
Yep,
Yeah.
just like that basically. So what they do is to make them forget about what happened, they give them the drug called joy, and everybody's prescribed pills and have to take it throughout the day. So this one character who refuses to take it, um, like starts to come down from like the drug, and basically when he comes down, like he sees things for what's really happening. And there's a really cool scene where they're all hitting a pinata and like laughing and having fun, and they give him the bat and like, oh, hit it. So he goes to hit it, and when he hits it, blood goes everywhere. And then then it shows what it really was, and like they were beating a rat and they were like eating the innards or whatever, and they go to give him a pill and he like slaps it out of her hand or whatever, and then they yell like, oh, there's the downers, call security, and the people who refuse to take it are called downers. And basically the game is like the guy trying to get away,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I'm into it. It looks fun. I think all four of us agree that it looks pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be a AAA full release kind of thing, $60?
I know. I feel like it's an indie, but I'm not 100% sure because it's on the early, not the early access program or whatever for that Microsoft has.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Xbox Games preview.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, that's right. Microsoft had that long indie montage too with all those games. Some of them I wasn't really familiar with at all, but
Yep.
I did catch Stardew Valley in that
Yeah.
montage, that's good enough for me.
The two things I saw were Cuphead and Stardew Valley.
So Beardless is saying in the chat that it was kickstarted. So
Kickstarted. Okay.
there you go. On to anything else for Microsoft from you, Will? You're
Yeah.
playing Halo Wars.
Oh yeah, I have been playing Halo Wars.
I'll interested to hear your thoughts in the full episode on Thursday.
Yeah. It
And
made me buy the original too to play it to get back into the groove of it.
Can you give us a one-word adjective? How you feel about Halo Wars?
I really like it. I know that's not one word, but I do really like it so
All
far.
right. How about just like?
Yeah.
Okay, Ubisoft opened. I missed the little dance number at the beginning because I was watching the PC show because I thought Ubisoft started later than it did. So I missed that whole bit, but it was basically a extravagant promotion for Just Dance, right?
Yep.
Which is coming to consoles and NX.
Say what you will about Ubisoft, they usually have one of the more like kind of entertaining press conferences every year with how Aisha Tyler is and how kind of zany they are.
Yeah, zany's a
And
good word.
And they're the only ones that swear on stage
Yeah.
freely.
Yeah. Most surprising for me, the Trials of the Blood Dragon thing was surprising to me because I was listening to a podcast. I think it might have been an IGN podcast. It might have been 8-4. I can't remember. But they were doing their pre-E3 predictions, and somebody predicted another Blood Dragon, but it would take advantage of another Ubisoft IP, which is exactly what Trials of the Blood Dragon is. So that was surprising to me that I had heard that, and it's supposedly based on nothing, and then it actually happened. So that was surprising to me. But in terms of most excited for me, and For Honor I was surprised by. I thought that looked really good, and I'm excited for that. You give me any sort of fantasy, medieval, third-person, action-y kind of game. Yeah, I'm into it. But I also thought Watch Dogs looked good, and what's the other one? The big one. I can't think of it now.
Steep?
No. The new South Park. That's the one I'm most excited for. Good humor. I like how they're making fun of the whole Marvel and DC thing because I've sort of been singing that song for a while.
Yeah.
It's kind of a joke, really, of this stuff. But what about you, Will?
For surprising, I want to say, I don't know. That's hard. Maybe I guess this isn't surprising, but I was going to say Assassin's Creed only being in movie form, but because they're not releasing one, like I kind of didn't think we would see anything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess maybe surprise would be Steep.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising. How that was that's how they closed the show.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I really was into it.
I was into it too. Just to set the stage a little bit, Steep is a action extreme sports
open world
multiplayer kind of thing. You can snowboard, What's the word for the little squirrel suits? Flying squirrel
Uh,
suits? Flying suit? Is that what it's
flying,
called?
flying,
Gliding
glide
suit?
suit, something like that.
I can't think of it. There's hang gliding.
Yeah.
What's the other big
Skiing.
one I'm missing? Skiing. I don't know. But yeah, it's this big open world where everybody just sort of hangs out and does these extreme sports, and it has a lot to. It takes advantage of like camera angles, and you make videos and rewatch videos, and there's like a mini map that tracks where you go all over these mountains. It takes place in the Alps,
Mhm.
in several different countries, I think. But they put a major emphasis on like sharing. So I think it's all about making videos that are fun, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like people that take GoPros out and try and do crazy stuff and put it on YouTube for their friends to see. That's what it is. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um.
I thought it looked cool. It'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm surprisingly more into it than I thought I would be. I do. Everybody knows that listens to the podcast that I love the snow environment.
Hmm.
Um. So I'll be in. I kind of want to get it and just like snowboard down some hills and whatnot.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
a.
supposed to come out this year?
I did not write down the date. That doesn't mean they didn't announce it, but there's a good chance they didn't because I think I wrote down the date for just about everything else if there was one.
Uh, coming December 2016. So
No.
probably next year.
Yeah, that could be next year for sure. The only other thing I want to talk about was the Star Trek Bridge Crew virtual reality thing. That's exactly what I want to do in VR, is that whole bit. And I thought
Yeah.
LeVar Burton was a great pitchman.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know very much about Star Trek, but it looked kind of cool, and it was one of the few VR things that I sat there and said, "Oh, this looks actually pretty interesting."
And you know what?
So,
What a lot of it has to do with is the fact that you're stationary and you're just
mhm.
looking at things and moving it around, which I think is the best way to do it,
Yeah.
VR. But I probably will never play it. So
No.
considering the price of VR, and I don't know, was that going to be a PlayStation VR? I don't know.
I'm gonna guess 5. I want to say.
Okay. Then we'll move on, Will, to Sony. I think most surprising to me was just how they nailed the show. They just showed games. They didn't spend too long on any one game, and everything they showed for each of their games up until towards the end, it got a little muddy for me. But the first like 5 games they showed, I was right into. And
Hmm.
the bear, what's his name?
The God of
Orchestrator.
War.
No, the orchestrator
Oh,
guy. Doesn't matter. Bear
something.
McCreary.
Something. Wasn't it some? Oh no, it wasn't.
It's
Andrew House was later in the show.
Bear Gillis. Is that the guy? Is that the guy from Survivor Man?
Yeah, Survivor Man.
But yeah, I guess more specifically, oh man, like God of War looked great. I thought Horizon looked great. I was really into the Detroit Become Human game. Resident Evil, I thought looked awesome and would be so much fun to play in VR.
Yep.
I mean, the Batman, the VR, the other VR stuff didn't really do it for me. I thought the Resident Evil stuff was spot on. But starting with like they showed the Star Wars Battlefront thing and the Batman Arkham VR thing, eh, I don't know. But I did think Call of Duty Infinite Warfare looked awesome.
I hate that I thought the same thing. I thought it was Titanfall, and I was like, this looks awesome.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with that for most surprising because I was surprised at how awesome I thought it looked.
Yeah.
Just the way, like when you're walking through the hangar, in the trailer they showed you're walking through the hangar and there's just all this stuff going on around you. Like they have a big budget and it shows in all the right ways.
Hmm.
Um, and it seems like it's more than just strafing side to side and shooting the bad guy. We
Yeah.
saw a lot of piloting of spacecraft, so I think that'll be fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that for my most surprising.
I'm gonna agree with that because, like I said, I thought it was so awesome that I thought it was another game.
Yeah.
So.
I'm also surprised by Kojima's appearance
Yep.
and showing. I know it was just a short little teaser with naked Norman Reedus. I was surprised that they trotted him out there, but I was actually happy that they did because in all my wants out of the press conferences that we talked about last week, that's the only one I got was
Hmm.
seeing what Kojima is up to. And I
Yeah.
know it was vague, but at least we saw something. So that was also surprising to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sony does a good job, like kind of knocking these conferences like out of the park because they always do something that everybody's like kind of loses their mind over, and like Kojima was kind of that this year
Yeah.
because everybody like Kojima's loved by
Hmm.
everybody, and what happened with him and Konami, so everybody is like on Kojima's side, and then they bring him out there for his game.
So
Which
did you see Norman Reedus' Instagram post?
no, no.
I don't know. Is it Kojima? Somebody's drinking out of like a coffee cup or a teacup, and on the cup it says Konami Tears.
Norman Reedus posted that.
Yeah, on his Instagram. I didn't know they
That's
had the relationship like that.
I will because when he came up there, I was like, "Why is Norman Reedus the naked person?"
Yeah. It's like, is Kojima making a Walking Dead game?
Well, did you see some of the rumors about it?
No.
People think it's gonna tie a little bit into the PT Silent Hills.
Oh.
That's like one of the conspiracy theories. I don't know if that got debunked because I haven't followed up with it, but
I did see that the references, I don't know if it's in the title or something, or the symbolism in the video, I can't remember specifically now, but it points to alien species experimenting on humans.
ooh,
So maybe.
well, yeah, because go ahead.
Nope, I'm done.
I was gonna say yeah because they had the baby and that was like came out of Norman Reedus or whatever, like was connected or
Yeah.
whatever was going on.
Yeah, his fetus.
Ugh.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for, Will, of all these Sony things?
This is a hard question because they showed so much. Like, I'm really excited for the new God of War. I like the environment that they have now, as opposed to the old ones. It's kind of like a reboot. I kind of want to say. I don't know if that's an accurate
Yeah.
description for
No,
it.
I think that's accurate. Yeah.
But yeah, that looked really cool. Like the Last Guardian got a release date, which is cool. Like Crash Bandicoot, like I've been pining for like Crash Bandicoot and having played Spyro now, like I'm kind of hoping that they do a reboot for that. So like there's a lot of stuff that I'm really excited about. I really can't pick one game. It'd be like between God of War, Horizon, even the Call of Duty game looked awesome.
Yeah.
So pretty much all of the stuff they showed, I was pretty excited for.
Me too. It's really hard to pick. It's harder to pick in Sony than any of the other ones. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say I'm excited for Sony. How's that?
Yeah.
Good for them. I really thought they put together a great show. And that's the thing about it is I'm not sure. Like the Ubisoft conference ran way too long. It was 2 hours, I think,
Wasn't that long.
when all was said and done. Pretty
I
close.
stopped paying attention towards like a little bit there.
Well, they spent too much time on these games. Like Sony did it right. They showed you if the gameplay was good, they showed you good gameplay. If maybe the gameplay wasn't good or wasn't good yet, then they just showed you like a teaser, a cinematic trailer, and just like they showed you the exact right amount to get you excited for
Here's the
whatever it
thing.
was.
Here's the thing to describe Sony. A lot of the conferences people felt went too long. I feel like with Sony's, everybody felt it was too short. I know Eric and I both thought it was too short.
I don't know. I wouldn't say too short.
Because
It
think
could have
about
been
it,
longer, but I liked it. I wasn't let
Well,
down.
no, I wasn't let down by it at all. I'm saying like that's a good thing that we wanted more.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And you know how you can
so
get more? You can trot your happy ass to GameStop and get yourself a PlayStation. That's what
are
they
you going
want.
to?
I said from the start, if they put out a really compelling PlayStation VR bundle, I would be tempted.
Mhm.
But that money's video card money, so
Yeah.
it's a stretch. It's gonna have to be real, real compelling, but it's possible.
Well, yeah, because the VR itself is what, $399.
Yeah,
So
yep, they did announce
I
that.
the the bundle would probably be like $800 or something crazy.
Right. Nintendo stuff, they're probably still going. I think they're going all day.
Yeah,
So-
they're just showing Zelda galore.
I mean, consensus, Zelda looks awesome. I don't think there's really any arguing that at this point.
No, I thought
Uh,
Pokemon looked good too. So
what did they show for that? Because I didn't see that bit.
they kind of just showed off like the beginning of the game. In like being a Pokemon fan that I am, they showed off a lot of stuff that's like small quality changes, like the battling
Uh-huh.
system looks a little bit better than in past games. Like it's just small stuff, like when it's like noon or whatever, the shadows are way different than when it's at night of the Pokemon. And like when you're doing a Pokemon battle with another trainer, like both trainers are on the battlefield, so like it kind of shows you like I don't know that like in the other Pokemon games, like the trainers weren't on the battlefield,
Yeah.
and them being there kind of shows like I don't know.
So instead of just seeing the Pokemon, you're seeing the trainers, and like, is it animated or is it still?
It's still pretty animated. There's
Okay.
a lot of like one of the videos was Poplio, which is the seal water type Pokemon, and like it was like moving on its like back tail and like bouncing on it a little bit and stuff like that. Like there's a lot more going on, and the camera angles are really good for the battles. Like I said, like if you've played Pokemon, a lot of this stuff is like small things that make it like just better. And it's not stuff for people who don't like Pokemon would like be enough for them to want to get it.
Right.
So
Well, there you have it. Oh, we're also anticipating Monster Hunter, right? Anything else? Nintendo? I don't know. We'll see.
I have no idea because the only thing, as far as I know, is like Pokemon Go too. Maybe I
Yeah.
think that's tomorrow.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I want to see that. I'm excited for that. I think that'll do it, Will, for our inaugural. Is that the right word?
Sure.
First edition of the Sif and Gon Sideshow.
Yeah.
Check out our full podcast, which we record live on Twitch, usually Thursday night around 7:30 Eastern. Twitch.tv/thumbstickathletes. Facebook.com/thumbstickathletes. Twitter is twitter.com/TS, as in Thomas Samuel Athletes. Thumbstickathletes@gmail.com. We do have a voicemail inbox, but I cannot remember the phone number, and nobody really uses it anymore. We were getting voicemails for a long time for the podcast, but
Not anymore.
not as of late. But it's a great way to get feedback in. You can find that on our webpage, thumbstickathletes.com. Click the contact button, and it has all the ways you can reach us. So, yeah, that's it. Later, Will.